celebrating the work that you're doing. And as a woman, we really appreciate being able to follow that along with you. So thank you for that. So Brie Larson, is great, but there was a process that you went through to go through. So talk to us a little bit about the campaign, how data played a role, your process, and about and leadership. There's a lot there, but I know it's an ongoing conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I've been in automotive my entire career. I was agency side on automotive brands, and then I came client side about 8 years ago. So I'm still a relatively new client, I guess. And I think when I came into a leadership position and I was the head of marketing for Infinity first, what I really noticed kind of having several years of that experience is that at no point were women ever actually in the driver's seat in our advertising. And if they were, it was more in a sexualized manner. And when you actually go in and start to look at the data, women own over 50% of the cars. And that's not, it's my husband's, it's somebody else's, it's my parents. They actually own over 50% of the cars, which means they are the majority of the wallet. And that's not the only point. The next data point is that, and it depends on the study, but women influence 90% of the automotive decisions in the household. So that means that if you want to you have your brand appeal to women, you need to make sure that they feel represented. And that's somewhat of how we landed when we first started working with Brie Larson, and this was back in 2020 for a vehicle launch campaign. We launched it right before COVID and then had to immediately pull it. But what we were looking for and what I was asking the team for is I wanted a very confident woman to be able to coach another woman in the situation. And as she's coaching, she's also talking about the car, and she's kind of creating these analogies about being empowering and how the vehicle empowers you. And we saw, first of all, working, and it was an easy selection to work with Brie because she is this empowering persona. She is a superhero. She's the first female superhero. And there was also a piece of she very much is about bringing in diversity, equity, and inclusion in everything that she does. And she's been a force both in front of the camera as well as behind the camera. And so that's how we landed working with Brie. And then when we actually saw the results from that campaign, it was overwhelmingly positive, and it was one of the top campaigns in the world in 2020. Thanks.
Yeah,
that's all my team. That is my team. Yeah. They are amazing, and I'm very fortunate to work with them. So we wanted to make sure that we carried that momentum, and so we've actually been running a brand campaign for over 2 years where we have Brie as our lead hero. She's the one driving, and it isn't just the SUV. It's our sporty manual transmission Z. It's our Aria, which is our electric car. We have her in one of our trucks. And so it was really about making sure that she was the hero. And throughout this entire process, it was also making sure that she resonated. Her character was the same. We kind of joke around, and I was telling her, we were shooting something that's going to be awesome with her last weekend. And I was telling her about this panel, and she's so excited because we've kind of co-created this version of her together, who she is for Nissan. And what resonates is her accessibility, the performance side of it, her confidence, but it's this accessible confidence. And so it's about really making sure that we bring that through in each of our stories, and that we stay true to that and stay consistent. Because I think, to Laura's point, there's so much baggage in automotive, especially for women, because we've seen highly sexualized images. The dealership experience hasn't been great, especially for women. And so we have to overcome that. And on the marketing side, and I'm responsible also for customer experience, it's like one step at a time, and just keep that consistency, keep making sure that it's performing the way that we are expecting it to perform, and then just keep making it better and better and better over time.
And are we getting better at the dealer level?
It's getting there. It is a process. And I think you're starting to see more and more women are at the dealership. And when I started, there were no female leaders. There were no females in dealerships at all. And that is starting to improve. And I think it is time. We are a mature industry. COVID kind of accelerated a lot of things, our supply chain issues, which are widely reported across the industry. That's all been these catalysts for us to really change. And so I think that will change. I always want it to go a little bit faster, but it is moving so much faster over the last 2 years than it did over the past 20.
Well, I think it's great with this perceptual gap that you've gotten in front of it and that you have really been able to make a case for it. And it'll be great to continue to watch how that evolves as we really just look at harnessing the opportunity for women in this space. So this is a great segue to Mara and Angie, because